we are today discussing New Zealand as a study destination. We also have with us, in participating in the discussion today, the prestigious, world-renowned university, the University of Auckland, with the QS World ranking of 68. And the guest of honor today from the University of Auckland is Ms. Vasudha with us. So, hi Vasudha, thank you for joining us today. We are glad to have you here.
Thank you, Supriya. Thank you for having me here today. And it's indeed an honor for me to be present here today. Thank you.
And we also have with us our vertical head for Australia and New Zealand, Minakshi, all the way from Sydney. So welcome, Minakshi, to the session today.
Thank you, Supriya, and everyone watching us right now. Thanks for joining us here, and we're so glad to have University of Auckland and Vasudha with us to talk more about what University of Auckland has to offer to students as well as New Zealand as a whole as well. So stay tuned.
Yes, so students, if you're looking at going to New Zealand as a study destination, the beautiful country of New Zealand for your higher studies, then stay tuned. And you can ask any questions that you have in your mind about studying in New Zealand, and both Minakshi and Vasudha will be able to answer your queries. Okay? So let's begin the session with the first question, which goes to Ms. Vasudha. So my first question to you on behalf of the students would be, what are the factors, basic factors that you take into consideration when you are checking the eligibility or the selection process of a student at the University of Auckland? Over to you.
Well, yes, Supriya. So unlike many other countries in the world, New Zealand has pretty simple entry requirements. Likewise, University of Auckland also has a certain GPA to be required in order to get into a certain programs with us. In fact, most of the programs again. And again, a lot of programs require a similar background or discipline that has to be studied in their undergraduation. And some of the programs like, say, Masters in Professional Studies or Masters in Engineering Project Management requires some years of work experience as well in the relevant industry. Some programs, say like Architectural Studies and Masters in Design or Design programs, requires a portfolio to be created and submitted while they're applying to the program. And every program requires an English language test to be completed, and we also accept IELTS, TOEFL, and also PT. Which is one of the requirements, again, for our entry requirements to the university.
Okay, thank you so much.
And one more interesting aspect about this is, Supriya, the university website of ours is very user-friendly that way. So each and every program under the program requirements in the website clearly shows what are the requirements of the program. And it also has a GPA calculator. So the student, those who have passed from different parts of the world, can customize or can filter their country, and they can look into the conversion of their percentage or CGPA or grade points into the GPA conversion, what we need, and they can self-analyze whether they'll be eligible to a certain program with us.
That's wonderful. I think that's amazing. I mean, only by going to the website, students can get all the information. Like they can check their eligibility, and further, if they have questions, they can always reach out to us or to you both, right? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So my next question goes to Minakshi. So Minakshi, I think you stay now in Sydney and you have been to Auckland too. And both of these cities come under the top 10 livable cities of the world. So what do you think is unique about these two cities that make them to the top livable cities of the world?
Wow, Supriya, I've just asked me a very difficult question, for me to answer actually, because while Sydney is second home, Auckland is one of my favorite, places to visit anytime.
Mine too.
Right? So Sydney and Auckland, I would say, are both very vibrant cities with unique features and have so much to offer, to international students. Well, what makes Auckland truly special is its cultural diversity. It's a melting pot, very similar to Sydney, I would say, in that respect, that exposes international students to the various traditions, customs, and ways of life. It's not just a city, It's a global community where friendships truly, I would say, transcend borders. Next, I would say Auckland is surrounded by stunning natural landscapes. It's picturesque harbors to sandy beaches and volcanic cones. Even if you look it up on, internet, it's wow. These are the things you will not find in a textbook. You really need to experience them. Also, for those interested in adventure sports, I would say such as bungee jumping or skydiving. And for those who like outdoor activities such as hiking trails and water sports, again, very similar to Sydney, Auckland is a paradise for them, right? They can actually, enjoy any of these such activities. Other thing is Auckland, and in fact in New Zealand as a whole, it's a very safe country. So parents of international students can be rest assured that their kids will study in a very friendly and safe environment, which is very important. Lastly, Auckland's economy is buzzing with opportunities in sectors such as IT, finance, tourism, and in fact, Vasudha might also agree with me. For those with a passion for film and media, Auckland stands as a gateway to the global entertainment industry. And University of Auckland, for example, offers subjects in film studies under their Bachelor of Arts degree. And I'm sure Vasudha can also talk more about it at some point. So to summarize, both cities offer a high quality of life, excellent education, and unique cultural experiences. The choice between Sydney and Auckland, it's ultimately depends on the individual preferences, I would say, their career goals, and the kind of lifestyle a student really aspires for. So, hence, my advice to all the students and the parents who are probably, are watching us right now, would be to speak to a global reach counselor, so that they can help you decide which city and university would be best suited for the students, based on their academic capabilities, financial requirements, and other things as well. So don't ask me such difficult questions. Ask me the questions. But that's what I would say.
Okay, would Vasudha like to add something to that?
Well, I think Minakshi quite covered most of the things here, Supriya. But just adding to it, yes, Auckland University of Auckland itself has about more than 100 different nationalities where students can be networking among with, and it is a truly multi-dimensional and a multi-diverse university. But again, Auckland additionally offers more for it, where it's about 180 different ethnicities who are living in Auckland at the moment. So there's and most of the time when a student is looking for an overseas education and determining one of the countries, they would definitely look to see what is the kind of true international exposure that I get, and what is the different kinds of networks that I can establish. So with a city which is as buzzing as Auckland and has about 180 different ethnicities, people might not really have to look for more. And as she's also explained very nicely how beautiful the Auckland city is like. It's like a perfect blend of both beautiful environment city, and also the urban city is a blend both. So people can try and reach out to places which is as beautiful as mountains, waterfalls, and harbors again, and again be at the center of the city to look for various job opportunities, career opportunities, whether it is in their internships or full-time placements, because it's again the commercial and the business center. The city is the commercial and business center of New Zealand, and it's by far the most populated city in New Zealand. Yeah. So that's
So,
how
in
it.
other words, we can say that Auckland is city, and the locational advantage is also there for the University of Auckland and the
Very true.
students. True.
So
Yeah.
very true.
So I think we are getting some questions from our students. So Minakshi, if you can just take the question on behalf. Yeah.
Sure enough. So the question that I have received right now, what is a common entry requirement, like percentage wise, for masters, for graduation, and undergrad and masters, postgraduate?
Excellent. So, in order to get into most of our masters, we require a 5 GPA. So, wherein in conversion with Indian degree, it's going to be somewhere between 65 to 70%. So, students can calculate their, depending upon which university of, or what do you say, passed out from, you can filter the university in our website again. And you can also put in your current percentage or your GPA and see whether you fall under the category of 5 GPA, so that which matches you to get into our university. And furthermore, yes, for bachelor's degree, we do accept students from across all faculties, whether it is state, syllabus, ICSE, CBSE, ISC, Cambridge, and also IB internationals. So we require a 75 to 80% to our Bachelor of Arts and Commerce programs, whereas for the sciences and the engineering programs, we require 80 to 85%. And some of the subjects do require a subject requirement, say as physics and mathematics, in order to pursue an engineering degree. So that kind of roots down to individual subjects that you're picking as well. And more or less every program requires an IELTS or an English language test to be completed.
Thank you for answering the student's question. We have one more. Yeah, we have one more. Yeah.
So, how many backlogs are accepted by the university? If you can give us some, like a range or some information on that.
Oh, well, there's no set number of backlogs that we tend to see that we are accepting. But if at all a student is fulfilling the requirements as per the GPA with as minimum backlogs as possible, then it is still accepted, is what we have seen through with acceptances from university. So there's no particular number of backlogs that I can say, but in order to meet the requirements, if you're completely meeting the GPA and the other requirements, I think backlogs should be negligible, because you wouldn't really be able to have more number of backlogs in order to maintain a 5 GPA. So that's what I kind of presume.
Sure. Thank you, Vasudha.
Okay. So my next question to Vasudha again. So the University of Auckland is the only university that offers both medical and engineering programs in New Zealand. So which are the more popular, subjects that generally the Indian students prefer to take, or more popular with the Indian students?
That's an interesting question again, Supriya. So, we are very popular for both our engineering faculty and also our medical and health sciences faculty. And we see a large number of inquiries that we see from India for both the faculties again. But predominantly, yes, engineering department is more filled by Indian students. And some of the subjects or programs which are highlighted there is the Master of Engineering Studies with us, which has about 10 different specializations again. We have Master of Civil Engineering, which again has about 5 specializations. We have a Master of Information Technology program where we see a lot of Indian students there again, because it offers a 10 weeks of internship inside this program. And we also see students a lot from engineering project management, because engineering project management again comes up with very popular 2 accreditations, which is GAC and also PMI. And we see students more or less again for Bachelor of Engineering honors with again 10 to 12 specializations there. And again, data science is also a very popular subject. So we have introduced a new program called Masters in Artificial Intelligence, and we are seeing a lot of crowd here as well. So that's predominantly more of engineering subjects where we see Indian students in. And getting into the faculty of medical and health sciences, we see a lot of Indian students in masters in health leadership. We have more students in masters of health sciences. We also see students mostly in PG diploma in public health and Bachelor of Nursing again, because it has an accreditation from the Nursing Council of New Zealand. So students can get to become registered nurses after pursuing this bachelor's program. And we also see a lot of students into Bachelor of Health Sciences and Physiotherapy practice and masters again.
Okay, so for the nursing programs, thank you. So for the nursing programs, do you have only one intake or you have more number of
Yes,
intakes?
yes.
Because
We have only one intake, which is in the month of February. The program starts for the students, and the IELTS requirement for this particular program is a little higher compared to other undergrad programs, which is 7.5 overall, 7 overall with an each band of 7 again.
okay, thank you. I think we are getting more questions. Yeah, so Minakshi, kindly take the question.
So the next question, Vasudha, it is for you. Are transcripts a must or mark sheets are enough to apply when they're putting in an application?
That's good. That's good. See, most importantly, we are interested in the individual mark sheets of the student. Okay, so transcripts are still encouraged, but in order to see the kind of modules what you've studied or the subjects you've studied in each semester, your individual mark sheets becomes more important. So it's always good to have all your mark sheets provided with us. But say you've started your application well in advance and you probably do not have all your semester wise mark sheets, then a cumulated mark sheet of how many of the semesters you've studied should also be good. Yeah. But eventually we might need all the mark sheets of yours in order to process for an unconditional offer letter with us.
So initially they can start the application, but with whatever they have. But at the end of the day, they would need you would need the individual mark sheets for the
So
unconditional.
very true.
Sure.
So very true.
We are getting more questions. Should I read them out?
Yes, please.
So another question, Vasudha, it's what is your scholarship criteria for PG programs, postgraduate programs?
Well, we have exciting scholarships again with respects to our master's program and also our UG programs. So one is the University of Auckland Excellence Awards for 10,000 New Zealand dollars, where we encourage all international students to apply for this. And with respects to India as a region, we have a regional scholarship which is called the University of Auckland India High Achiever Scholarships or Awards. That is for the amount 20,000 New Zealand dollars. So students are encouraged to apply for this as well. And with respect to certain faculties, again, we have faculty specific scholarships that we encourage all students to apply for. Especially one such faculty scholarship is the Business Master Scholarship with us. So students who are applying to Business Masters can apply to the Business Master Scholarship, which is for the amount 32,000 New Zealand dollars. So that's again a huge amount. So students are encouraged to apply to almost all our scholarships. And this is going to be an additional application that you'll have to make from your end because you'll not be able to get included in a scholarship in a normal application, what you do in order to get into the program. So once you've got a conditional offer letter, you're encouraged to apply for a scholarship. And for scholarship, additionally, you will require letters of recommendation with one statement of purpose.
Sure. Thank you so much. And when you mentioned the $20,000 scholarship for Indian students, is it a one-time scholarship or it's continuing?
Yes, it's a one-time scholarship, Meenakshi. All our scholarships, again, is a one-time scholarship. We do not have a renewable yearly scholarship with us. Yeah, because most of the master's program, again, if you see in New Zealand, it's more or less 1 to 1.5 years. So it becomes difficult for us to divide it, or it becomes not exactly to divide, but to get it considered year after year, because the program might end within 1.5 up or close to 15 months again.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Vasudha. One more question. Can you please tell us a little bit about the course fees for both bachelor's and master's?
Okay, so bachelor's programs starts with a tuition fees of about 42 to 48,000 New Zealand dollars, depending upon what is the program and the specialization you're opting with us. Whereas a master's program requires close to 50 to 55,000 New Zealand dollars for 1 year again, and this is excluding the living cost.
Thank you. And the living cost at this point of time, what we need to show?
It's about 21,000 New Zealand dollars again per year. But each and every student is encouraged to work part-time as well while they are studying. So they are allowed to work until 20 hours every week. And the minimum what they can earn per hour is about 22.7 at the moment. So it's again a great opportunity for students to work part-time, even in their related fields of what they are studying.
Thank you so much, Vasudha, for that information.
Yeah, so Vasudha, I think taking a hint from the scholarship, what we discussed about scholarship, like is it encourageable for students that they take up the they apply well in advance so that they can apply for the scholarships also. Otherwise, I mean, once they have the, as you mentioned, once they have the conditional offer, then they will be able to place the application for the scholarships also, right? So
So very true.
definitely, the sooner they apply, I think that will be the advantage of the student to avail a scholarship.
Yes,
So
rightly said, Supriya. So we always encourage all our students to apply well in advance, irrespective of any program they are applying, because the application portal generally opens 1.5 year in advance for any of the programs that they are
yeah.
applying. So we encourage students to start off with the process at least 6 to 8 months in advance. Why? Because the turnaround time for our offer letters again is about 4 to 6 weeks. So, and again, if they are securing a conditional offer letter based on some of the incomplete documents, again, they might have to wait for a couple of weeks again for the unconditional offer letter. And in the meantime, if they are requiring to apply for a scholarship, there are certain timelines that they'll be able to apply the scholarships again. So with respects to the Feb intake, that is the first semester one intake with us, the scholarship deadlines is going to be between October to November. Sorry, September to November again. September to November, generally first week of November again. And in for the July intake, again we will be having a scholarship timelines opening between March and April. So students needs to have a conditional offer letter within this stipulated time again in order to apply for the scholarships with us.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have more questions, I think. So, Minakshi, if you can take the next question, please.
Sure. How long are the New Zealand student visas taking nowadays to process?
That I think Meenakshi, you would be better to answer, right? Because it's for sure taking more than 2 months. Yeah, and ideally it is supposed to be having students should be having their visas within 6 to 8 weeks, if I'm not wrong. But it's taking more time, is what I see. Do you want to elaborate more on that, Meenakshi?
Absolutely, and that's the reason why we are encouraging our students to, if you are considering New Zealand as an option, to apply as soon as possible. Not just because the reason is now it's taking much longer. Uh, Many students are now interested in studying in New Zealand, and they're keeping New Zealand as their first option. So we need to really put in an application for visa as soon as possible. So yes, are students allowed to work part time on campus? Is another question as well.
Yes, definitely. Students are allowed to work part time both on campus and also off campus. But it's going to be a little challenging to always wait for working on campus. So we would encourage students to keep applying both on campus and off campus. And we have a placement cell department, which is called the CTES, Career and Development Employability Services Department, who are very much active with all our international students in order to apply for full-time career placements, internships, and also part-time jobs. So you can always keep seeking the help with this department in order to look for better on-campus jobs as well with us.
That's right. Thank you, Vasudha. And just to elaborate on that, which you already have done, students in New Zealand can work on campus and off campus. So you just have to keep, obviously, networking is very important. So, and also do attend the orientation where they give you all this information. Who do you reach out to? How to do so? So networking is, again, very important an aspect for getting part-time job and later on also to get a full-time job in New Zealand. One more question. Do you accept an application form from a student, who received a visa rejection from another country?
Oh, yes, we definitely do. Because university, unless and until you're meeting the requirements for the program, it shouldn't really be a problem for us to see an application again, even if you've had a rejection with other countries. And again, with pertaining to visa, I guess if your financials are pretty stronger and the reason for you to come back is really strong, then I think it shouldn't be a problem in order to apply again for New Zealand. Yeah.
That's right, Vasudha. And if I may also add to it, um, yes, you can, of course, as Vasudha said, that you can apply, work with your counselor so that they can also establish a strong case for you. University, of course, acceptance is important. We also need to put up the case for visa, right? So work very closely with your counselor. Will be able to guide you as well on this. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So when we talk about international education, I think one point that we cannot miss, that is the post-study work opportunities. So I would now request Vasudha to share some insights on PSW at New Zealand.
Yes. So every student who commences their bachelor's or a master's program are encouraged to stay in the country for 3 more years. That's going to be the post-study work rights that they receive in New Zealand. And students are allowed to work full-time during their PSW. And most of the programs, again, in University of Auckland, again, is curated in such a way that it is definitely aligned with the industry with regards to the job opportunities or career opportunities, and also which is again most of them available in the green list category in New Zealand. So there's a lot of skills shortage with respects to various fields again in New Zealand, and we encourage students to apply to programs again related to that in order to try and stay in the country for much longer, even after their PSW is going to get ended.
Thank you. I think that's for our students to take a note of and reach out to us so that we can help you go to New Zealand, study and work later on as well. Okay, the next question. The New Zealand PhD is different from the PhD program offered by any other country. So if you could just explain that, Vasudha, for our students, how is it different?
Okay, so in order to see how PhD degrees are different from New Zealand to other countries, I would say the acceptance rate for PhD programs is much larger with respects to University of Auckland again, because we have PhD programs again offered for over 100 plus subjects with us, and it's pretty easy as well to apply. Why? Because students again needs to get in touch with the supervisors, write to them regarding what is their research content that they want to work on, and when they get an acceptance from the supervisor is where they start off with their manual application. So there's going to be certain CGPA requirements and also IELTS requirements to be completed even in New Zealand in order to pursue a PhD program. And added advantage is that students are, though they are not fully funded for the PhD program, they are paying the tuition fees of a national student for PhD again. So they are considered to be a national student, and they pay the tuition fees as per what is asked by a national student for the PhD again. And more or less, PhD students also enjoy the permit for their dependents here. So they can get their dependents, whether it is their spouse and their children, along with them. And even the spouse is encouraged to work in the country, and they can work full time while the student is studying. Even the student, while they are studying, they are either working as a research assistants or teaching assistants in the campus, and they are paid with a stipend. So which makes it even more easier for them to fund their living while they are studying in the university. Do you want to add anything more on this, Minakshi?
Yes, I would like to add a couple of things that, yes, Vasudha is right. There are quite a few, by the way, advantages of studying PhD or pursuing PhD in New Zealand.
Yes.
Yes, because one of the things is that an international student would pay the same fee as a New Zealand domestic student. So, for example, the PhD fee at University of Auckland for international student is around, let's say, 7,800 per year, which is the same amount a domestic student is also paying. So that's a major advantage because you save up quite a bit. As Vasudha also mentioned, they're eligible for a 3-year post-study work visa because, as she just mentioned before this, the post-study work visa rights are up to 3 years, depending on what the student is studying and at what level. So for PhD students, they are eligible for a 3-year post-study work visa. So that's again another advantage. Vasudha has already added that there is no limit on the hours that student can work while they are studying. And also, if it's a mature student who's traveling with their spouse and children, there are also benefits for both spouse and children. For spouse, if the student is bringing the spouse, then the spouse can apply for, I think, open work visa for the duration of their studies. And if they're accompanied by children, they can be enrolled as domestic students in New Zealand state schools. So I think these are very unique advantages that New Zealand offers that I've not seen being offered by many other countries for international students. So, of course, for any student who's keen, to pursue PhD, I would say New Zealand is a very, very, wonderful option to consider.
Absolutely, undoubtedly. So I think the PhD applicants are able to listen, they are watching us. So we are going to get quite a few queries on PhD very soon. Okay, so with that, I think we are done. We have almost covered quite a few, important aspects of studying in New Zealand. So now I would request both of you, if you don't have any more questions from the students, then you can, share any closing remarks that you would like to share. So let's start with Vasudha.
Yes, Supriya. So I would say University of Auckland is undoubtedly one of the top choices for most of the international students to be choosing from. But if I have to list down something which is like 3 most unique features for students to join in and study with us, then it would definitely be the university ranking again with us, and the research intensity of our university, and the practical learning approach in relevancy to the job market and our graduate employability. So if I can take 2 minutes to elaborate on each of these factors, which is again our university ranking, we are highly ranked with respects to various parameters in the country. And under QS World University Rankings, we are ranked top 68 in 2024, and we are the only New Zealand universities who's ranked within the top 100 university rankings again. We've consistently been in the top position for many years now, and we are proud about it. And under the Times Higher Education ranking, again, we are in the top 139 under the 2023 rankings. We are also ranked number 1 in Oceania and number 5 globally for our QS under the QS University Sustainability Rankings 2024. So these are some of the very good rankings that I would suggest. I would say we are very proud about, and students, those who study with the university, with such a high ranked universities, are for sure able to make best out of their career, because these are going to be globally accepted programs all over the globe, and the job opportunities or the kind of opportunities what they seek is going to be limitless, not just for this particular country or to their home country, but it's going to be a global openings for them because of the accreditations and the licensing that we provide for most of our programs again. And with respects to the research intensity, we are in fact the largest research association or the organization, and we have over 13,000 plus staff and student ratio who is working on some of the top fundamental and applied researchers in the country. In fact, there are about 33% of the top highly rated researchers that are conducted in University of Auckland almost every year again. And we are a home of about 60 research units and centers and 2 internationally renowned large-scale research institutions. So there's about $230 million, which we annually generate as the research revenue with us. and undoubtedly talking about the practical learning approach and the relevancy of the job market. We are again a university who stands very high on the graduate employability. We stand number one in New Zealand and within top 100 globally. So it becomes easy for a student, those who study with us, within 3 to 6 months of their completion of the program, it's going to be easier for them to find a job in the New Zealand and also in Auckland as a city. And with respects to a lot of practical learning techniques and hands-on experiences, all our programs is curated in such a way that students can make use of the cutting-edge technology in every faculty and programs with us. And again, the staff diversity, if I have to talk about, the teachers and the professors are not only from different diversities and ethnicities, but they are also from the industry themselves, and they've worked in the industry for a very long time and then have converted into academics, which gives the students an edge over other international students because they are very well job ready by the time they are completing the programs with us. So this is something as an overall picture I would like to give about University of Auckland.
That's wonderful, and we are proud to be the authorized representatives of the University of Auckland. So, yeah. Now I would request Minakshi to share her closing remarks.
Sure. Thank you so much, Supriya. And first of all, thank you so much, Vasudha and University of Auckland, for being a part of this session today. I think it was wonderful. We had a lot of questions from the students, and I believe now they are convinced that this is the university they want to go to. And if it is so, then I would suggest that you reach out to your counselor without any further delay, because the next intake is July. So as you heard from Vasudha, that you need to give some time for the application until the visa stage. So it is taking a bit longer than usual. So that we do not miss out on the deadlines and the scholarships and everything. Reach out to your counselor; they will be able to guide you better. And we look forward to seeing you in New Zealand. And it's one of the beautiful and very welcoming country which we have, and you will undoubtedly enjoy the Maori culture as well. So we look forward to welcoming all of you in New Zealand. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Supriya and Minakshi. And thanks to Global Reach for having this wonderful, unique session, I would say, because this is going to be giving a lot of audiences, which is international students and parents all across, to come and openly ask questions for the university representatives directly and get to know more nuggets about university and also the procedure of applying and various other things about international education. So it was a wonderful initiative by you people, and I was fortunate enough to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much to both of you for your time. We look forward to having another and many more such sessions in future. And to our students, so if you want to know more about the University of Auckland or about New Zealand as a whole, then do join us tomorrow. Okay, I think we are getting one more question. I think we should take this, yeah. So, Minakshi, can you just take it?
The same question: do you accept application from a student who has got a rejection from another country? So you have already
answered that. Okay, so further questions, you'll have to reach out to us, that is Plan Study Abroad, and we will help and answer any questions that you have. Okay, so tomorrow we have our Australia and New Zealand application open day between 2 to 7 p.m. tomorrow. If you want to join and know more about Australia or New Zealand education and universities, then you can just log in to our portal, our website, planstudyabroad.com, and register yourself so that you can join the session tomorrow and get answers to your queries. Okay? Till then, stay tuned, and we look forward to having you tomorrow in the event. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Everyone. See you. Have a great evening.
Bye.